Imagine living a double life. By day, you are a loyal soldier of a crime family, a man of honor who lives by the laws of the street. By night, when the city sleeps, you are an undercover FBI agent whose only goal is to destroy these people from the inside. This isn't a Hollywood movie script. This is the real story of a man who, for 5 years, became one of the wolves to destroy their pack. He ate at their table, became godfather to their children, and looked into the eyes of the men he would send to prison for life. Watch this video until the end, and I will reveal the key psychological trick that allowed him to stay sane and become an FBI legend. New York, the 1970s. A city of contrasts, a concrete jungle where the smell of money mixed with gunpowder. In those days, the streets weren't ruled by mayors and cops. The real power was the 5 families, mighty clans of the Italian-American Mafia. They were the city's shadow government, an invisible force controlling everything. Among them, the Bonanno family was one of the most ruthless and audacious. Their tentacles reached everywhere, into unions, construction, the docks, and of course, the city's nightlife. They were ghosts. Everyone knew of them, but no one could prove their existence. To challenge them meant signing your own death warrant. The laws of this family were carved in stone and sealed with blood. The main law was omertà, the code of silence. To betray the family meant a death sentence, carried out without delay. The leader was Carmine Galante, a cruel and ambitious boss. But after his murder, the family fell into chaos. Power was divided among captains, or capos, and one of the most influential was Dominic "Sonny Black" Napolitano. This was a world where outsiders were not welcome. But the FBI decided to take an unthinkable risk. They chose not just to plant an informant, but to embed their own man into the very heart of the beast. That man was Joseph Pistone, a young, bold agent with Sicilian roots and nerves of steel. He was the perfect candidate. The Bureau erased his past. A new man was born for the criminal underworld, Donnie Brasco, a professional jewel thief from Florida. The legend was flawless. Donnie began his odyssey into the world of the mob. He didn't just play a role, he lived it. He spent days and nights in bars and clubs where gangsters gathered, listening to their conversations, adopting their mannerisms and their slang. He learned to walk, talk, and even think like them. His first test was with a crew of truck hijackers. He had to prove he wasn't just talk, but a man of action, ready to take real risks. The fateful meeting happened in Brooklyn. Donnie met Benjamin "Lefty Guns" Ruggiero. Lefty was a soldier in Sonny Black's crew. He was a classic old-school mafioso, loyal to the family, ruthless to his enemies, and always broke. He had spent his whole life in the business and could smell a phony a mile away. Donnie impressed him. He was bold, confident, and most importantly, he knew how to make money. Lefty became Donnie's guide into the world of La Cosa Nostra. He taught him the unwritten rules, how to properly greet men of honor, who to show respect to, how to act at sit-downs. Never touch a made man, not even as a joke, Lefty would say. If you're called to a meeting, they might kill you. If they tell you to walk, they're definitely gonna kill you. Donnie absorbed everything like a sponge. He started working for Sonny Black's crew. Hijackings, extortion, collecting debts. Donnie was at the center of criminal life. Every day was like walking on a razor's edge. Any mistake, any wrong look or careless word could cost him his life. He saw brutality, betrayal, and blood.
He saw men who shook his hand one day disappear forever the next. One day, he was put to a lie detector test. Sonny Black's men suspected a rat in their ranks. Donnie sat in a basement, wired up, and calmly answered the questions. His pulse was steady. He passed the test because in that moment, he wasn't acting. He was Donnie Brasco. He had learned to switch off the FBI agent inside, leaving only the gangster who wanted to survive and rise. His reputation grew. He brought huge amounts of money to the crew, solved difficult problems, and always kept his word. Sonny Black, the cold and calculating capo, began to trust him as he trusted himself. Donnie became his right-hand man. He was aware of all business, from planning major heists to internal disputes and murders. The information he relayed to the FBI was priceless. For 5 years he lived this life. The psychological pressure was colossal. Every day was like walking on a razor's edge. Any mistake, any wrong look or careless word could cost him his life. He saw brutality, betrayal, and blood. He saw men who shook his hand one day disappear forever the next. Lefty Ruggiero became more than just a mentor to him. He treated Donnie like the son he never had. He trusted him with his deepest secrets, shared his worries. "I'll die with this thing on my belt," Lefty said, pointing to his gun. This friendship was the most dangerous part of the game. Donnie knew he was betraying the one man who was ready to die for him.
The climax came when Sonny Black proposed Donnie Brasco to become a made man, an official member of the Bonanno family. This was the ultimate sign of trust, the pinnacle of a criminal career. For the FBI, it was an incredible victory. Their agent would be the first in history to infiltrate so deep. But to do it, Donnie had to commit a murder, sealing his oath in blood. The FBI faced a difficult choice: allow their agent to become a murderer or end the operation at its peak. The Bureau chose the latter. Operation Donnie Brasco was over. For Joe Pistone, it meant going home. For the New York underworld, it was the day of the apocalypse. The moment of truth came suddenly. FBI agents approached Sonny Black and Lefty directly. Without a word, they placed 2 photos on the table. One showed their loyal soldier, Donnie Brasco, in the company of mobsters. The other showed the same man, but in the uniform of FBI agent Joseph Pistone, receiving an award from the Bureau director. For the gangsters, it was a thunderbolt. First came shock and complete disbelief, but the facts were undeniable. Then came an all-consuming rage. The man they considered a brother, their hope and support, turned out to be a rat. It was an unforgivable shame for the whole family, a stain that by their laws could only be washed away with blood. The consequences of the operation were catastrophic for the Bonanno family. Pistone's testimony formed the basis for hundreds of criminal cases. A wave of arrests swept across the country. More than 200 people, from street soldiers to bosses, were put behind bars. It was the most massive and successful operation against the Mafia in history. But the biggest blow was to their reputation. The Bonanno family was disgracefully kicked off the Commission, the ruling council of the Mafia, which included the heads of the 5 families. It was equivalent to being stripped of their crown. Decapitated and humiliated, the Bonanno clan never recovered from the blow. Their street empire had crumbled.
And what about those who trusted Donnie? Their fates were tragic. Sonny Black Napolitano knew what was coming for him. He gave his valuables to a bartender, saying, "If I don't come back, give this to my wife." His body, with his hands cut off, was found a year later. He paid for his mistake according to the laws of the Mafia. Lefty Ruggiero was arrested by the FBI just minutes before his own crew arrived to execute him. He refused to believe in Donnie's betrayal. "Donnie wouldn't do that," he kept saying. He received a 15-year prison sentence and died of cancer, never coming to terms with the truth. And Joe Pistone? He became a legend, but paid a high price. the Mafia put out a $500,000 contract on his head. He and his family still live under new identities, constantly moving. He is a ghost who won the war, but lost his own life. So, what was the key secret that allowed him to survive and not break? A psychological trick taught to him at the FBI. The rule was, don't play the part, become the part. But remember who you really are for just 1 minute a day. Every night, alone with his thoughts, he would mentally return to his true identity, to his family. That 1 minute was his anchor in a world of madness, keeping him from drowning. The story of Donnie Brasco is more than just a tale of betrayal. It's a testament to courage, strength of spirit, and incredible psychological resilience. It's the story of how one man, walking the edge, brought down an entire criminal empire. If this story grabbed you and you want to know more about the hidden wars of the underworld, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and write in the comments what you think of Joe Pistone's actions. Want to hear about the bloodiest massacre in Mafia history, where brother turned on brother and the streets of Brooklyn were drenched in blood? If this video gets 1,000 likes, I'll tell you about the Great Colombo War, a conflict so brutal it shook even the criminal world. Don't miss it. It's going to be intense.